Hey guys, how's it going? So we are in the Philadelphia Eagles playbook today. I'm going to be breaking down the wing trips eagle formation. I looked at this formation and I think it's really cool, and it's something that I haven't really seen whenever I do see people run the Eagles playbook. It's not something that I see a lot of people run. It's not, whenever I see the Eagles playbook, I usually see like split offset or the trio offset or something like the bunch spread, stuff like that. And so I think this is still a very good formation that's kind of been overlooked. So let's jump right into it. My favorite play out of this formation is right here on the first page. It's the Y play PA double post, and I will show you why. So pretty much there's several different ways, or there's pretty much two different ways you could run this play. Go ahead and move back a little bit just to give us some more space. The first way, which is the most common way that I would probably run it, is all I do is I fade Jordan Matthews on the left for the one-on-one opportunity. Obviously, go ahead and put your biggest receiver with the best catch in traffic on the left side. So with the Eagles, I use Jordan Matthews. Riley Cooper is also a good option to have. So pretty much what you want to do is you're reading one of the two posts. Pretty much I always look for Macklin first, and then Cooper, and then you want to see pretty much Ertz is really kind of a check down. Like if you see the flats are open immediately, you can hit Ertz. Against cover 2, sometimes what will happen is the deep safety will follow Cooper, and if you have enough time, Ertz will be wide open down the sideline. And then you have Matthews on the left side for your fade. But against man-to-man, pretty much both posts will beat man-to-man. So you'll have your option. Generally, they'll both have good inside positioning. And against zone, both those posts do a really good job of getting behind the hook zones, and you'll be able to find like a little pocket for you to hit them in. So I'll go ahead and run it a few times for you guys here. So right there, that was pretty much, I saw blitz come off the left side or whatever, and I noticed that no one was in the flats to cover Ertz, and so pretty much picked up an easy 10-15 yards right there. Go ahead and run it again. I'll try to hit one of the post routes right there. That's generally what happens. That's why I have Macklin in the slot. I want him running, I want my fastest guy running that first post, because odds are sometimes he'll get like matched up against a linebacker or a safety, and so he'll cut really quickly to the middle of the field and get a really nice separation like he did right there. I think he was being covered by a linebacker in that situation, which generally won't happen, but you will have times where they might have a safety on him or something, and you'll get the same result a lot of the time. So right there, once again, just waited for Macklin to get into the open space. This is a very tough play to defend, because if your opponent starts catching on, if you're like running it a lot, say you're hitting Macklin a lot, they might start using Macklin, but then that's when you hit Cooper coming in behind them. So it's really hard for them to use this play, because they pretty much have to pick their poison. And obviously, I have like probably 7 or 8 other plays that I like to run out of this formation. So it's not something that they're just going to be like, oh, I know he's running PA double post every play, so let me just tune my defense just to stop that one play. If they do that, then that's when you hit them with the other plays out of the formation. But go ahead and see right there, once again, hit the Macklin route. The Macklin route is very, very good. I could have hit Cooper at one point right there, but I decided not to. So the other way I like to run it is if your opponent's playing a lot of man-to-man for whatever reason, you could pretty much leave Matthews on his little shallow cross route. That route will do a good job of beating man-to-man. Just to give you another read, they might be playing man-to-man and like using the middle of the field to stop the post routes. You might not feel confident throwing those post routes, so Matthews gives you another option coming across the field just to kind of give you some extra security, I suppose. Right there, waited for Macklin to clear out and was able to hit Cooper. So just as you can see, a very, very difficult play to defend. We'll go over the quick audibles. The quick pass is slants. Pretty much, I don't really run this very much, but you guys, I'm sure, know slants. It's not very difficult to read. Just wait for someone to kind of get into an open window. The down run is, unfortunately, the inside zone split. And the reason I say unfortunately is because they have this auto motion attached to it. So it makes it really obvious when you're running this play. So if you run a custom, I would recommend putting in just like the inside zone or the 0-1 trap as your run audible, so that you don't have to deal with that auto motion. It's still a fine run play, but it is something that, because of that auto motion, it will kind of give away what you're trying to do. Although I will say that the play action pass, if they can get out of goal line real quick, The play action pass out of this formation is the PA motion slide, which uses the same auto motion. So you can run those two plays together, like mix it up so that they'll know one of the two plays is coming, and obviously once they see the play action, they'll know this play is coming, but at least it'll kind of keep them on their toes. But as far as this play goes, I like running it a different way. Pretty much what I'll do for this play is I'll just take off the auto motion and put Zach Ertz on an in route. The reason I choose an in route is because I think the slant route kind of gets too close to Matthews on his deep cross. Drag routes get too shallow since Ertz is like off the line of scrimmage. Sometimes drag routes will get like caught up in the lineman, and I don't like that, and so I just settled on the in route just as kind of a short check down. But pretty much for this play, the entire time I'm pretty much reading Ertz and Matthews. If they have Ertz covered underneath, then generally that'll mean Matthews is behind the hook zones and you can go ahead and hit him. If they sink back to cover Matthews, you should have Ertz underneath. Macklin's kind of a hot read. If you see like at the snap no one's on him, you can go ahead and throw that really quick. Or if it's like man-to-man and you see has his man beat, you can lob it to him. Cooper's kind of like a last-ditch read. I pretty much never hit that route. You can pretty much do whatever you want with the Cooper route. Generally, I'll just leave it there because there is another way I run this play, and I'll go ahead and show you guys after I run this version. Right there, Matthews' route does a really good job against man-to-man of getting good separation. Pretty much every time he'll go ahead and beat his man over the middle of the field. It's a very good play to run if you know that your opponent likes playing a lot of man-to-man defense. So the other way that I like to run this play, pretty much all I do, you can actually leave Ertz on the auto motion just to make it look like the inside zone split, but I'll go ahead and hot route him to a flat route, and this is pretty much kind of like a third and long kind of play if you're not comfortable like throwing the ball deep or whatever and you actually want to try to hit an open pass, which sounds weird, but if you actually want to try to hit someone who's open so you don't have to like user catch or something, this is a good play. It's a flood. As you can see, you have Macklin going deep, Ertz occupying the flat, and then you have Cooper on the deep comeback. And sometimes what will happen is, obviously, Macklin runs the safety or the corner off, Ertz occupies the linebacker, and then Cooper gets wide open on his comeback. You just have to it takes a long time to develop, so you have to have a lot of time in the pocket. So just keep that in mind. If your opponent's bringing like heavy pressure, you probably won't have enough time to run this play. But if he's somebody who likes to rush like 2 or 3 guys, then you should have ample enough time to run this play. So I'll go ahead and run it here. Right there they blitzed, so I kind of panicked a little bit and was able to hit Ertz in the flat, and he got lit up and fumbled, and Sean Lee recovered. But I'll try to hit that Cooper route for you guys one time here. But it looks like they're bringing another heavy blitz, so I'm not going to be able to do it. They would have gotten to me quick enough, but right there, another example of the Jordan Matthews route and how it beats man-to-man. So pretty much that's a really nice play to look at. It's a good complement to the PA double post, actually, because they're keying on the right side of the field with those 2 post routes, and then you hit them with the deep cross by Matthews on the left side. It makes them start having to pretty much guess which side you want to go with the ball. Then the deep audible is 4 verticals, which is a good play. Pretty much the adjustments I make is I fade both the outside receivers and leave everything else the same. And pretty much you want to attack your one-on-one opportunities deep. So you have Matthews on one side, Cooper on the other. Pretty comfortable user catching with either of them. You've got Macklin. If he somehow gets behind the defense, you can throw that. And then Ertz, if it's man-to-man, a lot of time Ertz will beat his man and get really good positioning. So you just have to kind of read. Right there was man-to-man. Go ahead and hit Zach Ertz. A lot of people will user that route when they see it. So just be careful about throwing it. I don't want you guys throwing any interceptions. So that was the PA double post and the quick audibles. So there's a lot of other really good plays out of this formation. I'll start with the 0-1 trap. It's a very good run. I went over it a lot in my last video. But same idea right here. I don't know how well it'll work since that linebacker's like right in the A gap right there. But it's really good for... Okay, right there, I was still able to get really good blocking. But it's really good in situations where there's like a defensive, like right here. See how that defensive tackle's kind of over the right guard? He'll get blocked generally pretty like 95% of the time. Every now and then he'll make a really good play, accelerate quickly, and kind of mess up the play in the backfield, but that's very rare. This is a very consistent run play that you can establish early on and make your opponent have to respect it. You get really good blocking, and like right there, I pretty much just had to run straight up the middle of the field and was able to get 6 yards or whatever. So it's a very strong run play. It's been very popular this year for good reason because it is very strong. Generally, what people will start doing to slow it down is pinching their line, and when they pinch their line, that's when you can branch out and run some other stuff. So the next play, I'll go ahead and stick with the run game. The next run, I think, in the formation is the read option, the Eagle read option, which obviously, if you're using the Eagles, like Nick Foles isn't the most mobile guy ever, so I would stay away from like the Eagle read option and the QB slot option if you're using the Eagles. But if you're using another team like the Panthers or the Chiefs with Pryor or the Redskins or anyone with a mobile quarterback, you can go ahead and add those into your scheme. Definitely good plays. I won't go over them because I'll probably end up just losing yards every single time with Nick Foles, but definitely good plays if you're using a mobile quarterback. See, I went over the Y lead read option is another good play. It's pretty much the read option, except it has the inside zone split kind of motion with it. So that's a nice little 3-play scheme. The inside zone, the play action, motion slide, and the Y lead read option. On this page, you have the inside zone, which is probably my run of choice out of this formation. Unfortunately, it's not the down run audible. I thought it would be when I first looked at the formation, but it's a very consistent run. Get pretty nice blocking. You're able to get upfield. You can really dictate where you want to go with the ball at the line of scrimmage. You have a lot of control over the running back. So if they somehow like shoot a gap up the middle or they're clogging up the middle, you have the ability to kind of like take it outside like I did right there and try to get upfield and make something happen. Very flexible run play, in my opinion. So definitely if you're running a custom, I would recommend putting that as the run audible over the inside zone split so that you don't have to deal with the auto motion. So you can just quick audible to that and go ahead and snap the ball. The other play I want to go over on this page is the PA wide receiver screen. Now for this play, I'd probably swap Macklin and Cooper. And unless your opponent's like being very, very observant, he's not going to notice that, and he's not going to pick up on the fact that Macklin and Cooper swapped. But pretty much you just want to snap it and pass lead up and try to get upfield right there. Generally, I've run screens like this out of other formations, and generally you want to run it against off coverage. If your opponent's bringing a lot of like zone blitzes, this play is generally very good, which is good because this year a lot of blitzes are like zone blitzes. A lot of people have like A gaps and like B gaps and stuff out of various zone setups. So screens are very tough to stop if they're running those kind of defenses. So it either forces them to adjust and stop running those blitzes, or it forces them to make some adjustments in those blitzes, and that opens up other stuff because if they're expecting a screen and then you run like PA double posts or something, they're going to get beat deep pretty badly. So just go ahead, try to make a play right there. I kind of got a bad animation, wasn't able to turn upfield too quickly, but you guys get the idea. Very quick pass to get out there and really stretch the defense horizontally. The other plays out of this formation, I went over the 4 verticals. I don't run the curls or the halfback draw. And then the last page is a really unique page and is a big reason why I decided to do this formation. A lot of people see that auto motion, and that's the same auto motion that's out of like the gun split offset with that little inside zone PHB swing and then the cross screen. But this is similar but a lot different at the same time. Pretty much you have stick and nod. So those two plays kind of work off of each other. Stick is a very good short yardage play I'll go over right now. I really like that motion flat route by McCoy. Pretty much you can either leave Matthews on that slant or you can fade him. If you're running this for like a short yardage situation, I would leave him on the slant as like a little short yardage option. you don't have to turn upfield. He's pretty much already running upfield, if that makes sense. So he gets upfield really quickly, and it's a very quick hitter to the flat. And I don't know how to describe it, but it's a very good route in my opinion. I'll go ahead right there. They're playing man-to-man, so I just went ahead and hit Jordan Matthews on the quick slant route. Let's see if I can hit this McCoy route to the flat. Now right there, they're in man-to-man again. Go ahead and hit Zach Ertz and try to get upfield. Pretty much if it's man, you want to either hit Jordan Matthews on his slant or Zach Ertz on his out route. Right there. Went ahead and hit McCoy. Right there, you'd think it got bottled up because he got hit fairly quickly after he caught the ball, but he still was able to get 5 yards. And that just kind of speaks to how quickly he gets upfield after making the catch. Right there, man-to-man, Jordan Matthews wasn't able to haul in the slant. I really want to hit this flat route for you guys if the flat's ever open. Yeah, right there, I just forced that. And 59 was able to get out there to make a good play. But it's just a good, right here, okay, that was a good example. Right there, I shouldn't have tried to spin. I should have just juked. But no one was in the flats, and I was able to get upfield and get about 7 yards, even though I made a bad play. So just a very good, nice little route that your opponent has to pay attention to. And it forces them to pretty much have a flat defender on every single play out there in the left flat. And it'll burn them a lot of times because they have to have that just for the threat of these 3 plays. But then if you're not running one of those 3 plays, then they have a defender out there literally doing nothing. But they have to have him out there doing nothing, or else when you do run these plays, he's going to get burnt. So it just puts him in a bind. The motion stick and nod is off of that play, and pretty much the one adjustment I would make is I would fade, actually I forgot to swap Macklin and Cooper back, so I'll go ahead and do that because it's pretty important to have someone with good acceleration on this in the slot on this play, in my opinion. So let's see. Because of that zig route, whenever he cuts over the middle of the field, the better the acceleration, the better separation he gets on his man. So pretty much much of the same with that flat route. If it's open, go ahead and hit it. But pretty much you're going to want to look for Macklin or Ertz over the middle. Pretty much read if they sink back to stop Ertz, you hit Macklin. Obviously, if Ertz is open, you can go ahead and throw that to him. Just be careful. Throwing passes over the middle can be tricky at times. And then if you have the one-on-ones on the outside, you can go ahead and attack those with your big outside threats with Matthews and Cooper. So pretty self-explanatory play. Nothing super fancy. Right there against cover 2, you're probably going to end up, unless you want to wait and try to hit one of the one-on-ones on the outside, you're probably going to end up hitting Macklin because the hook zones in cover 2 sink back pretty far. Right there, go ahead and hit McCoy in the flat, and that's what can happen. That would have been a touchdown, but ran out of bounds to save time. That's what can happen if your opponent doesn't respect the flat and or forgets about it. You just, especially if you're using the Eagles and have someone as dynamic as McCoy who can make somebody miss so easily, it can just really present big problems for your opponent. Right there, falls over through the one-on-one. So that's those 2 plays, and then the final play is the Eagle Y screen, as I'm sure you guys saw on that final page. It's got the same auto motion as the stick and nod. Pretty much I leave everything the same, and pretty much I look to see if McCoy's open in the flats. If he is, go ahead and throw it. If not, you're probably just going to want to check down to the screen because you probably won't have much time to throw anything else. Right there, McCoy's open in the flats. I was able to pick up about 10 yards. And he wasn't even super open. There was somebody kind of there, but because of McCoy's speed and whatnot, I was able to make someone miss. Right there, this screen is not so good against man-to-man. So if your opponent runs a lot of man, I wouldn't recommend running this. It's more suited to attack zone coverage. If it's man-to-man, what will happen is exactly what happened right there. The man kind of just like sits behind the lineman and waits for you to throw the ball. If you do run this against man-to-man, you're probably going to end up having to take either Matthews or Cooper and try to user catch with them deep, because I wouldn't risk throwing the Ertz screen and getting it picked off or something. So just something to think about. Right there, I should have waited a little longer for Barry Church to keep blitzing, but I threw it too soon and he was able to tackle me right there. It was against goal line, so I'm just going to get out of bounds. I'm going to try to run the screen successfully one time for you guys here. I was having decent success with it earlier. Right there, I had it set up pretty well, but Foles wasn't able to get the ball out in time. Let's see. Okay, right there was against engage 8, so that's a really... okay, well, I still lost 3 yards, so... but no one really runs engage 8. Right here is going to be against some type of all-out blitz. So this is a very, as you can see, like it's a very, very specific play. Like I would probably only run this like once or twice a game. It's definitely not something I'd recommend running very often. It's very, very specific. If your opponent's pretty much, I would run this if your opponent's bringing a lot of like zone blitzes off the left edge or the right edge, the left side of their defense, the right side of your offensive line. Pretty much if they're blitzing from where the screen's going and it's a zone blitz, I would think about running this play. But otherwise, it's kind of risky for reasons like that. Because whenever it's man-to-man, they just completely ignore the guy. The one guy they actually have to block, they completely ignore, which makes no sense to me. But you guys get the idea. It's a very specific play. So that's pretty much it for this formation, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it was able to help you out if you do run the Eagles playbook. The next playbook I think might be Pittsburgh. I'm trying to think alphabetically. I didn't check before the video, but I think it might be Pittsburgh. I'm trying to get up these videos one a day, like every single day. Try to get up a video. It might not always be like one of these tip videos, but if it might be like a ranked game or a MUT game or something. I'm trying to get up videos once a day. If you liked the video, please leave a like. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed. Last time I checked, I was at like 59, so that's pretty awesome. That there's almost 60 people that actually want to watch my videos. So thank you so much for subscribing if you have. It really means a lot. So until next time, guys,